Now, let me ask you, did that really look easy? If you are a professional bodybuilder or a power lifter, oh yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm not. I am a bodybuilder. I have been a power lifter. And I do this for health and for vanity. It does change my appearance, which I love that. At 65, you need a little extra, and the weights will give me a little extra. But my point is this. There's a lot of things that I could be doing tonight. There's a lot of things that would be easier for me to do tonight. I love television. I almost never watch even a minute of television. I'm not against it. If you can work that into your schedule and be healthy, good for you. But my point is this. I'm going to write an article about showing up for your own life, about being accountable to yourself for your health. If you're vain for your appearance, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look better, wanting to look good. Nothing wrong with that. Don't ever let anybody shame you. If you want to look good, that's just fine. If that's not a priority, that's fine too. But if we want to be healthy, or we want to look different, we want to fit into smaller clothes, whatever it is, we want to wear a swimsuit and feel confident, then we may have to do something hard. As a matter of fact, we probably will have to do something hard. There are characteristics of successful people that are common. And one of them is optimism. I have to believe that this is going to give me benefits, to motivate me to do it. It's not easy. Some people that lift won't even squat, because some people say the squat is king, and I believe that it is. But it takes a lot out of you. It's difficult. And so I have to believe this is going to benefit me. I have to believe that it's worth the effort to be able to do it regularly, be consistent in doing it. And another characteristic of successful people, first of all, they got to believe that there's something good in what they're doing. But they're also willing to learn. When I started lifting, I didn't know anything. Matter of fact, one of the things that I said was, I'm not changing all those weights. I am not changing all those plates and doing all that stuff. I had said that years ago. I had me a little weight set, and I was determined I was not going to change plates. I would look at those magazines that gave you all those complicated programs, and I'd say, this is insane. Spend all your time changing plates. How long is this going to take? And then when I really wanted to get healthy, when I really wanted to get in better shape, I became willing to learn. I became willing to listen to David. David has a history of training people in the military, and I knew that he knew what he was talking about. And so I had to be willing to learn. If you think you know everything, you probably know nothing. And you don't know what it is that you don't know. You've got to be willing to learn something to make progress in anything, but especially in a sport, an exercise, an activity that puts your body under stress, because you want to learn to do it the right way for maximum benefits and for safety. And sometimes, no matter how careful you are, you can still get hurt. Occasionally people get killed, in various sports. But you know what? If you become inactive, you eat an unhealthy diet, that's going to kill you for sure. Those arteries are more than likely going to stop up, and you may develop cardiovascular disease, you may develop diabetes, any number of things. So I'm willing to take my chances being active. And so far, so good. Um, my blood work has been done twice in the last year, and I think my doctor may be a little envious. He is amazed. Um, he actually looked at me one time and said, "What do you eat?" And the first thing I said was, "Well, I don't eat sugar." So we have to show up. We got to show up for our own life. We got to take responsibility. We have to believe that it's going to benefit us, be optimistic, we got to be willing to learn, and we've got to be resilient. Sometimes we'll start out on a program, something we may pay for, may have a lot of money in it even, and we'll say, well, I'm going to do it my way. Now, my question is this: why are you going to rebel against something you paid for? Okay? Like if I have a little bit invested in these weights, and so what if I bought these and I said, well, I'm not going to change plates. I'm just going to do it twice a week. I have to do it more than twice a week. I do it 4 times a week with the weights, other things, other days. But I could pay all the money in the world for my setup, but if I was not resilient, if I was not willing to learn the right way and change my opinions and my methods and sort of go with the flow, it wouldn't do me any good. If I kept doing what I was doing the first night I squatted, I would have actually lost ground by now because of age. I would have gotten older and been doing that same little 35-pound squat, and I would have lost ground. I have done a powerlifting program, and now I do 70 reps with this. That was just my last 10. So we've got to be resilient. We've got to be willing to understand that we're responsible to ourselves, for ourselves. There's nothing to rebel against. This is for me. If somebody else wants you to get in shape, it's pointless to rebel against that because you're only hurting yourself. And a lot of people do this. I've heard people say, well, my doctor this and my doctor that, but I'm gonna, fine, go ahead on. Your doctor doesn't even remember what he said, trust me. But you will live with the consequences. Your husband, your wife, your friends, they're pressuring you this way or that way. You're not accountable to them. You're accountable to yourself for yourself. And one other thing that I'll talk about here for just a minute is it's just critical. It's very important that all successful people have. It's a trait that all successful people have. In the showing up in your life, for your life, in the being accountable to yourself, for yourself, you must be persistent. That means when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it. That means in the good times and in the bad times. That means when it's popular, when it's not popular, when it gets you friends, when it costs you friends. You must be persistent in your pursuit of health because time waits on no one. Time marches on. And if we take a vacation away from fitness, like David says, we don't own our present level of fitness. We're only paying rent. So if we don't pay that rent, we're going to go backwards. We're going to lose it. And the same thing applies. You're thinking about exercise when you say that. But the same thing applies in our nutrition. You can do really good for a period of time, eat really healthy, and then just suddenly backslide and start eating all the junk, drinking the alcohol, whatever that you know is not good for you, that you might go back to. And you are going to undo any good thing that you did in your body so quickly. You will increase inflammation quickly if you go back to eating a lot of sugar, a lot of junk, a lot of processed food, and drinking alcohol, that sort of thing. You're going to undo your good work that you've done, and it'll happen in pretty short order. So persistence is the key to everything. Um, when you become accountable, when you realize that what you're doing is for you, for whatever motives you've got. If it's health, wonderful, that is the best motive. If it's something that other people think is insignificant, but it's important to you, that's important. The key is to realize you're doing it for yourself. I'm going to write an article here in a minute about showing up in our lives and, being present in our lives and being accountable to ourselves for ourselves. The rest of the world, be darned. Sometimes our motives are off, and that can change everything. So I'll catch you next time. I use this squat to show you. This, even though I want to do this because I am accountable to myself for myself, this is not what I call fun. I have a relative, a loved one, who will say, well, if you enjoy it, I guess you should spend time doing it. You can't explain to somebody that doesn't do this or something similar that it's not a matter of enjoying it. I do enjoy it more than cardio. I have a dual action bike, and I do enjoy it more than that because it requires moment to moment focus, and I like that. I can almost go to sleep pedaling a dual action bicycle as hard as I can go. But compared to that, I do enjoy it, but I don't do this because I enjoy it. This is hard. Squat night or squat day, whenever I choose to do it, it hangs over my head, the whole day before, the day of, until it's finished. And I've got to admit now, about 2/3 of the way through, I start to feel like a superhuman because it's hard enough that it produces endorphins. But that's why I chose this to illustrate. I don't do this because I like to do this. I do this because it works on the biggest muscles in the human body. It builds muscle like nothing else. And I've always been a natural athlete, and I always will be. So I depend on nutrition and weight to build my muscle. And that is why I squat. Because I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. So catch you next time. I'll get an article up in just a little while. Bye now.